back to the 8th concession. My name is Natalie. Well, it's September, and in Southern Ontario, Zone 5B, that means it's apple season. It's one of my favorite times of the year. I love apples, fresh, baked, cooked, whatever. Now, we typically go apple picking each year, but since we've moved to the 8th concession, we actually have a big old apple tree in our yard. Now, I've also planted 2 small apple trees in my orchard. One is a Macintosh cross and one is a Gala cross, but they haven't produced any fruit yet. But the apple tree that was here when we arrived has produced really well this year. Now, since we've been here, this is our 4th fall. The first year, we didn't have any apples to speak of from the tree. The second year, it was loaded with blossoms and loaded with apples. And then last year, again, we had virtually no apples to speak of. This year, a great crop of apples. So I know some crabapple trees are every other year type species, but I'm not sure if it's just been the weather or why this is seeming to come every other year, but this is the year we have apples, so I'm actually going to use our apples. Now, I don't know what variety they are. The tree was obviously here for a long time. It was planted by the previous owners, but they are very tart. Now, today I'm going to make one of my favorite apple recipes for the fall, and that is apple crisp. It's quick, it's easy, and it really is tasty and warms you up on a sort of chilly fall Canadian night. So I like to use rather tart apples when I make apple crisp. I typically use the Macintosh apples that we typically go and pick. But we are going to use these apples this year. They are also very tart. Now, you can use whatever apples you like, but I do find an apple that is tartar is nice because it goes well with the sweetness of the crumble that goes on top. So the best part about this recipe is it's a 5-ingredient apple crisp. All we need is some flour, oats, I'm using quick oats, brown sugar, margarine or butter. As I've mentioned before, a lot of us here, including myself, are lactose intolerant, so I use margarine for a lot of my cooking and baking. But of course, it'll taste delicious with butter if you are lucky enough to be able to eat butter with no issues. And of course, apples. We also need very little equipment to make it. A bowl for mixing, an 8x8 or even a 9x9 pan, knife and something to grease our pan with, 1/3 cup measure and a 1/2 cup measure. That's it, not even much cleanup to do. First thing we're going to do is make the topping. So with our 1/3 cup measure, we're going to do 2/3 of a cup of brown sugar. Packed. And 1/3 of our butter or margarine. And with our 1/2 cup measure, we're going to do the flour and the oats. So 1/2 cup of flour, and 2 1/2 cups, or obviously 1 cup, of oats. Then using our knife, we're just going to cut it all in together until it resembles coarse crumbs. is all finished. It just looks like coarse crumbs. It's all even. You just keep running your knife through any pieces of margarine or butter you might see until it's all mixed. So now we're going to grease our pan. Doesn't matter whether you use metal or glass, whatever you have. And now we're going to slice and peel, or I should say peel and then slice our apples. We're also going to preheat our oven to about 350 while we're doing this. The apple scraps are going to my chickens. They will enjoy that treat. And now all we have to do is sprinkle our crumb mixture on top. Making a mess as usual. And that's it, ready for the oven. 350 degrees for about 45 minutes until this topping is a really nice dark brown and you can see the apples underneath are kind of bubbling and soft. And here it is, all bubbly and golden brown and absolutely delicious smelling. Thank you for joining me in the kitchen today to make one of my favorite autumn treats. Bye for now.